Good morning, Unity. Oh, this is not. All right. Is that on? Oh, is it? Okay, I'm sorry.
Point your monitor to yourself.
Okay.
Good morning, Unity of Gaithersburg. How are you today? And we wish everyone who is observing Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. We wish you many blessings. And we also are celebrating our fourth Sunday of Advent with the theme of joy. And so now our board treasurer, Mike Vandy, will now come up and light the Advent candle for joy. Thank you, Mike. Yay!
It's a Hanukkah miracle.
It's really a fake candle. It's going to go out in a minute. I'm kidding. All right, so let's take a deep breath this morning and officially begin our time together in prayer. Yeah, so we just gently close our eyes and we take another deep breath. And that deep breath informs our physical body and our thoughts and our heart. that we are open and receptive to being here, fully available in this present moment to the joy of spiritual community. And so as we breathe consciously, we open our heart to feel the gratitude of spiritual community, of being able to come and meet here every Sunday in this beautiful space, on this beautiful campus, during this beautiful season. So thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for the joy that you bring, the light that you are, the light of the Christ that you are, that you shine brightly. And so let us take one more deep breath together. And so it is. Amen. So is anyone with us this morning for the very first time? If you are, if you would please raise your hand and someone will come and bring you a welcome packet. Let's give you some love. And if you fill out the card on the front and slip it into the offering bag, we'll just simply add your email address if you would like to receive our Friday afternoon online newsletter. So welcome. All right, let's stand, everyone, and let's sing a song together.
Feliz Navidad.
So take a moment and greet your neighbor, offer a handshake, and ask for a hug.
Feliz
Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero anno y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero anno y felicidad. Wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you here. And let's kind of make a special prayer and wishes for those of our community who are on the road or already where they're supposed to be for Christmas. So this week's transformation opportunities are detailed in our community newsletter. And you can get next week's edition by sharing your email with us. Please pause now to completely silence your cell phones. Thanks. And thank you for putting Unity of Gaithersburg on your Christmas list. This is a time of year when we reflect on what this community means to us, and it's our joy to continuously support its unfolding and sacred presence in our lives. And our sanctuary Christmas tree, right here, is decorated with envelopes marked with a specific dollar amount for the General Fund or Campus Rejuvenation Fund. As you feel led to support, simply choose an envelope, fill the envelope you've chosen with the dollar amount indicated on the front, and then place the envelope in the silver box next to the tree. Instructions are included on the envelope how you can donate with a credit card. You can also participate online at www.unityofgaithersburg.org. Thank you so much for your generous hearts expressing this holiday season. Our community is blessed by this abundance that will expand our ability to serve. Now mark your calendar for special services coming up. Our beautiful annual candlelight service, Eve service, will be held at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, the 24th, where you release what no longer serves you. On Sunday, January the 5th, we will have our annual White Stone ceremony where you will discern a new spiritual name for the upcoming year. You will write a letter from that new name that will be mailed and received by you at the perfect time. I've done that in the past, and it's kind of neat to get an envelope that you address to yourself. Our 12 Powers Plus One, Joy, thanks to Reverend Cheryl, service is the next Sunday where you'll discern what specific attribute of your divine nature is being called to support you in 2020. What an inspiring way to bring in the new year here at Unity of Gaithersburg. Now, for many years at Christmas, loving former member of Unity of Gaithersburg, Charlie Stinnett, has donated a beautiful handmade Afghan to our spiritual community with an intention to bless and uplift us financially. Each year, Charlie's Afghan is raffled, and as a very blessed individual gets to take it home and be warmed by its beauty and love. Raffle tickets can be purchased for $5 each, or two for $8 at the Bank Sanctuary table. The drawing is on Sunday, January the 5th. Now join us for our next spiritual education enrichment SE class coming up in January. Licensed Unity teacher Jay McCarthy will facilitate a 5-week Bible class, Bible interpretation, Acts to Revelation. The class will be held on Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m. in the Education Building starting January the 4th through February the 1st. You'll learn and practice Unity's method of metaphysical interpretation of Scripture to discover a deeper meaning for yourself on the spiritual journey. Sign up online through our website or newsletter, offered for a love offering. And now please center yourselves as we reflect together on today's daily word. And today's focus is joy. The affirmation, joy is always a thought away. That's interesting. Joy is always a thought away. While receiving a Christmas gift, I may feel happiness. However, unadorned joy is one of life's greatest gifts. Joy lifts my heart. As I exude my inner joy, others are uplifted as well. Joy may be quiet, such as a tug at my heart when I see a child happily playing. It may be lively, like shared laughter with a friend that brings tears to my eyes. Yet all joy flows from the heart. It is an expression of our divine nature. Joy is always just a thought away. When I'm experiencing stress in my life, I stop to remember my many blessings. I think of kindnesses given and received, and my spirits are lifted. As I recall the good I've witnessed in so many people and circumstances, I feel unbounded joy. And from Matthew 2, verse 10, when they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. Let's prepare now for meditation by singing All Is Well.
So once again, let us take a deep breath together. And take 2 more deep breaths. And then just begin to follow the movement of the breath consciously as it moves in and moves out. And begin to notice, as you are consciously noticing the breath, where you feel it the strongest in your body. Do you feel it the most as it enters your nostrils, as your chest rises or your belly rises? Just focus your attention now where you feel the breath in the strongest way as it moves in and moves out. Just allow this focus on the breath to bring you to this present moment. And if busy thoughts are competing with your focus of the breath, just gently, without judgment, return your focus to the movement of the breath, noticing where you feel it the strongest. as we bring our awareness to this present moment, we can be fully available to see the world through the eyes of joy. We can see beyond any external appearances that seem chaotic, and instead look for the beauty in our experiences, so that we connect with joy. So I just invite you now to continue to just simply breathe, noticing the breath, allowing your awareness to be in this present moment so that you can be fully available to experience and to see life's joys. So let us move now into a time of silence where we continue to just simply breathe, noticing the breath where we feel it the fullest in our body, bringing our awareness to this present moment to avail ourselves to joy in the silence. As we live in more present moment awareness, we avail ourselves to see life's joys, to see the beauty sometimes hidden in an experience, to stay curious, wonder-filled. So let us take a deep breath now. And the opportunity that we have is to stay present, to stay alert. To look at life through the lens of joy in each present moment. How grateful we are for joy. And so it is. Amen.
So this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, a new one just begun. And so this is Christmas. I hope you have fun. Near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. So this is Christmas. War is over. Weak and if you want it, and the poor is over. So wrong. No happy Christmas for black and for white, for yellow and red ones. Let's stop all the fight. A Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. So this is Christmas, and what have we done? Another year over, a new one just begun. Oh, happy Christmas. We hope you have fun. The near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any
Thanks, everybody. Well, there was a man who walked in the cafe Christmas morning wanting breakfast. And so the waitress seats him and he asks what the specials are. And so she tells him the Christmas special is Eggs Benedict. So he orders the special. And a little later, the waitress comes out with the Eggs Benedict served on hubcaps. So surprised, he asks why the hubcaps instead of regular plates. And her response, there's no plates like chrome for the hollandaise. Happy Joy Sunday. Well, I want to once again thank everyone who participated and who attended last Sunday's just music extravaganza. Wasn't it amazing? It was amazing. And so as I was standing at the back door, I had a few people say to me, well, gosh, I'm not in the choir, but I certainly would like to, sung some songs, more songs. And I'm like, really? Okay. Ask and ye shall receive. So today's message is going to look a little different for Joy Sunday. I'm going to talk a little bit about joy, and then I'd like to hear from you just some joy thoughts about Christmas. If there's something that you would like to share very briefly, about a memory of Christmas, something that's on your heart that really touched your heart, that made you just touch that place in you that's joy. So be thinking about that, okay? And then we're going to sing in between. Does that sound fun? Okay. All right. Woo-hoo. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about joy, because joy is one of my favorite topics. And as you know, I have taken the liberty as a minister to add one more power to the 12 powers. The 12, in case you don't know, if you're new in Unity, our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, have taught through until they pass, and then carried on this legacy for us to continue to teach, that there are 12 facets of the diamond gem we are, which is our divinity, our Christ nature, and they're called the 12 powers. And so they are attributes, divine attributes that are unchanging. They're divine ideas. And I have taken the liberty to add joy because I really feel that joy is inherent in us. That regardless of whether we're feeling joy, it doesn't mean that there's not an inherent part of us that's joyful. Because I believe there's an inherent part of us that's completely innocent, that's pure. And whenever I see a child at Christmas, and Santa Claus has come, that to me is just one of the most pure forms of joy I've ever seen. Or when you look at a newborn baby, to me that is just all it takes. Forget that original sin stuff. We're talking original blessing there. Yeah. So I feel on the spiritual journey that we experience the joy that we are as we continue to deepen our awareness and claiming of our divinity. And I think joy shows up in our life. I think it's a lens that we see the world through. I think when we can find the beauty in an experience, the inherent wholeness of something, regardless of maybe how it's showing up, that's an expression of joy. I think joy is the result of allowing ourselves to be filled with passion, to fully and freely live life with its endless possibilities. And I think that has to do with our wonder and our curiosity. I think we experience joy when we continue to stay in wonder, like childlike wonder and awe at how the world unfolds. It's pretty amazing stuff. Joy is an experience and it's a perspective. And I also think that on our spiritual journey, it can be a conscious intention. So let's reflect on Christmas biblical story in our Advent exploration of joy. And I'm going to read from Luke chapter 2, how the shepherds were committed to experiencing the joy of the Christ. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around about them, and they were afraid. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you was born this day in the city of David, the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace, goodwill to all." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which has been made known to us." Okay. So, metaphysically, Angels are always divine messengers. They reflect our intuition, our knowing. And so the shepherds represent our curiosity and our desire to know the Christ and experience joy. Because shepherds herd sheep, right? And metaphysically, sheep are ideas. So, even though the shepherds were afraid, they still made the journey to meet the Christ and experience the joy the angel described. They had this idea, we're going to go meet the Christ. And they did it, and they experienced great joy. So the shepherds represent our quest to experience joy as the Christ, to follow through on divine ideas that bring us joy. So I truly believe that we have a quest within us. I think we have a yearning to experience joy on our spiritual journey because it's our true nature. And I think that we're constantly given opportunities to experience joy. So whenever we experience the Christ, we have the experience of joy. And so how do we experience the Christ of joy, especially right now? I think through expressing love, through consciously being peace. I think through our generosity, through giving, through being in service. I think when we listen to our intuition and follow through, when we have a divine idea and we get excited about the possibilities, that's when we experience joy. Because there are wonders all over the place that lead us to experience joy. And so we experience the joy of the Christ through giving, through receiving, through laughter, through connection, through experiences. And so I'm going to invite you again to just take a deep breath and just tune in to where you have experienced joy. And I'm going to share, I'll start out and I'll share, and then I'm going to pass the microphone and see what you'd like to share. So I wanted to share that last night I went to the National Cathedral. One of my best friends, Lenny, and I have decided that we are no longer exchanging Christmas gifts. We're going to exchange experiences. And so she loves music. And so the Cathedral Choral Society were singing last night and just sharing. I think they've been doing this now for 43 years, and I don't know how I've missed it. I've lived in this area for a long, long time, and I've never been to the cathedral at Christmas. And I just got to tell you, there were moments when they were singing that it took my breath away. The beautiful harmonies, the way that this director was just, it was, and the brass ensemble and the youth choir, and it was just one of those experiences where I was like, okay, this is pure joy. It was just an experience of absolute pure joy. And the traditional songs that I've heard all my life, the way that they were shared were just magnificent. So that's my story to get us started. Who would like to share about Christmas joy? You got one? Or you want to
you
use
can
your
just turn
microphone?
this on.
Okay, yeah.
When we were real little, I was raised Jewish, okay? When we were real little, my parents thought we were too young to understand what Hanukkah was. So when we were really little, they actually had a tree and stockings and everything, and we loved it. And then the next year, they figured out, no, you're old enough. We're going to explain Hanukkah to you. It was a total downer, okay? You're kidding. This is it. And we just kept trying to put the stockings up every year, and then we'd take them down on the fireplace. And but anyway, we finally got into it because Hanukkah, which is a very minor holiday, was elevated to have to keep up with the presents that your neighbors are all getting. So it became a big deal. But it was very, very strange to be Jewish at Christmas. It just felt like I felt like I was an alien. I would walk around, all the stores were closed, there was nothing to do, and it was just strange. And then we'd always go out for Chinese food. That's all you could do, Chinese food on Christmas Day. But I was very gratified to be able to sort of have a better understanding of what Jesus' message was and what it really meant, the possibility of that we are joy, that our very, very nature is love and joy and stuff like that. So I have I have a good time playing Christmas carols now, and it's just, the whole thing feels just very loving and wonderful.
Thank you, Jim. And happy Hanukkah. Okay.
So this is a memory of 2 Christmases ago. Our family gathers during the day, and we have this big dinner, and the extended family is there. My in-laws, too, were there. And our hosts, which is my son and daughter-in-law, after dinner, we were exchanging presents and things, and they gave everybody a little paper bag. And they said, please don't open it until everybody's got one. So we're like, okay, they had gone on a trip, and we had thought they had just brought us back presents from their trip, and they said, okay, now open them. And I reached in and pulled out a mug that said Grandma on it. And I knew exactly what it meant. And I screamed, and people were like, why is she so happy? And they looked at their mug. Oh! Anyway, it was a moment of pure joy.
Let's sing. It's the most wonderful time of the year. You can stay seated.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling, be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. He's for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, caroling out in the snow. Fairy ghost stories and tales of the glories, Christmas is long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing, hearts will be glowing, loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
So I spent most of the 90s in a hospital trying to get my leg back into gear. And then I started dating a Buddhist. And that sort of just put Christmas back in the back burner with me. And I got into, we turned the millennium, and I didn't decorate, I didn't do, I came to church and I did whatever, but I didn't do any of that stuff. And one time, Nancy Spencer used to go, her sister Jane and I have known each other since college. And Jane said to me, why don't you go to my house for Christmas Eve dinner? And she set out, they had an elegant way about themselves, and she set out this beautiful thing, Christmas Eve dinner, and little Christmas crackers and things like this, and she mix up a couple friends, and it had a lovely, wonderful, something sort of Dickensian and American and all of that at once. And we did this for a couple of years, and it was just lovely, and I looked so forward to it. And the next year she turns to me and she goes, it's your turn. And I said, huh? And she goes, it's your turn. Why don't you host it this year? And I said, why? She goes, because I did this for you. I wanted you to love Christmas again. And I wanted you to do this. And for me,
for somebody to care that much about me was a true Christmas gift that I will always cherish very deeply.
One more song. Another song. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kissing once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh my golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. You guys are singing great. Carol, do you want to go?
I'll go. So I had a West Highland White Terrier who we had to put down this year, but this dog loved Christmas presents. So he would, my husband and I would each give him a couple Christmas presents, and he would just rip into them, rip them off till and he would only do his presents. Like he knew the difference between his presents and other presents. So he could smell the treats or the whatever. But he would just rip off the paper, and then he would look at us and go, "Is there another one?" And the pure joy that he had doing that was just amazing. So.
Well, I'm going to stick with this Christmas season, and that was Friday night. The board members all got together at Cheryl's house to have our Christmas celebration. And at the end, we played a game called Catchphrase. And that was an example of every one of us just being in the moment, making fun of each other, laughing about struggling with how to convey this phrase to our teammates, and just being who we are without any concerns about, oh, am I doing it right? Should we be doing this with fellow church people? We just had fun, and laughed a lot. So I thank them all, and it's part of my joy this Christmas.
And let me tell you, there was some gift stealing. Okay, let's sing. Let's sing one more song. Okay, we can't take everybody, but hold on to those stories, though. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I just wanted to say, I learned a lesson over the last couple of weeks about just being grateful for your health, and that you have money in the bank and you have a job. Just basic being grateful, because I have a friend that has cancer and was unable to work and was struggling to pay for medicine and this and that. So they asked me if I could help them, and I helped them, and it just brought me a lot of joy and just made me really feel that we're just, if you have certain things, you should be so grateful, because if you don't, it can be really, really tough. So it was, kind of hard to watch, but I was just glad I was there and was able to help. So I think helping other people is very, very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I thank you for your willingness to share. And what I'm going to ask, because we could just stay here for a long time. Probably that wouldn't bring joy in the long run. So I just invite you to continue sharing your joy stories out in the lobby at Hospitality, and I'm just so grateful that you're here and willing to share. And so we're going to sing one more song. So I think we've got our singing in and our sharing in, And I just wanted to remind us that joy is what we are. And as we continue on the spiritual journey to know that truth and claim that truth as an intention, I just invite us to go into the new year, because this new year is going to hold a lot for us. And, politically things are really interesting right now. And I know that's an understatement. And so I just want to invite us to really, truly claim our joy, folks, in the midst of it, because there's going to be joy in the midst of it. And one more suggestion, last year I talked about a joy jar, and the women on the women's retreat made joy jars this year. If you don't know what that is, it just a container where throughout the year, when you have an experience that you truly are present to the joy it is, write it down and stick it in your joy jar. And then at the end of the year, sit down with a beloved friend or spouse or child and share your joy. It helps to remember what a joyful year we've had. So let's sing one more song together, and then we'll have an affirmation, and then we'll go into our offering. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay, let's affirm together. Today, I celebrate a deeper joy and awareness of my Christ nature. I am joyously alive, and let this day and every day be filled with joy. And so it is. Thank you for your sharing. It was beautiful.
And now, it's the time to give from unlimited abundance and open hearts. As you prepare to place your tithe or consistent giving card in the offering bag, or give online as you join us via YouTube, here's some prosperity wisdom from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. There is no limitation, poverty, want, nor lack. I stand in the midst of eternal opportunity, which is forever presenting me with the evidence of its full expression. I am joy, peace, and happiness. I am the spirit of joy within me. I am the spirit of peace within me. I am the spirit of happiness within me. I radiate life. Affirm now our offering blessing together. Divine love, I am, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I'm so grateful.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see, every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. We'll get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Let's stand. stand and sing in our youth.
2, 3, 4.
Got you. I've got us. Coming together. Coming together. One heart. Please be seated.
That's joy.
Thank you. They are the joy of the season, right? Yeah. And thank you to Donna for bringing her amazing grandsons. They're fabulous kids. So welcome to Unity. We're so glad you're here. Let's read our affirmation.
We hold joy in our hearts and send joyful blessings to others. We feel joy in our hearts. I am filled with joy and I want to share it with everyone.
We send thoughts of joy to everyone in the world.
We share joy with the world.
God bless everyone.
Let's stand and bless this amazing joy. Together, you are the light of the world. Live as the light.
Let's join hands and sing our peace song. Have a beautiful, joy-filled day, and we will see you on Tuesday night on Christmas Eve at 6 o'clock. Bless you.